going to do is I'm going to introduce John McLoughlin. John McLoughlin is the National Party representative for Waterford, and he will be standing in the elections when they do come around, whenever that is. I'm going to suggest to people, if anyone has any questions with regard to what we're going to talk about now, or even in regard to those buildings over there in the future, to contact either Waterford Says No, and in particular John McLoughlin, and we can start trying to figure out exactly what's going on and see if we can get more information, particularly on that as well. So I'm going to hand over to John, and John is going to speak about what we came across the road.
Good morning, Eric. So I want to say thanks to everyone for coming down first of all. So we know why we're here, lads. There was an issue. This is completely unacceptable what's going on. Without our knowledge or our consent, the council have gone behind our back and decided that they want to put a mosque in Ballybeg. So in recent days we learned that the council signed off on the disposal of public land in Ballybeg. This is the land just across from the Tesco. The land is specifically zoned for enterprise and employment to a private buyer whose intention it was to build a religious facility, which is of course a mosque. Regardless of anyone's personal views, this proposal directly contradicted the zoning laws that are supposed to protect our community's development and future jobs, and that contradiction was ignored. But the zoning conflict is only the beginning of these irregularities. Before the council even met, a buyer had already been identified, yet we still have no explanation as to how this person was chosen other than the vague claim of the highest bidder. The proposed price was €260,000, was written into the S183 notice before councillors had even approved the sale, and even stranger, the land was listed as being held in trust despite the fact that no legal transfer ever happened. Then we look at what happened inside the council chambers. The disposal was proposed not by a local councillor. He was not from Ballybeg. He has nothing to do with this area or anywhere in this constituency. The councillor was Joe O'Riordan from Dungarvan, someone from outside the constituency. In the last year, this is the only disposal that came from outside the area concerned. Why? What was the motivation? Who requested it? None of this has been explained. And of course, we'll be able to answer later on exactly why this has happened. It's quite obvious why an outsider has made this proposal. It's quite clear. I think everyone here knows, but we'll explain it later anyway. So every councillor had a full information pack. They knew the intended use, they knew the zoning conflict, they knew the price, and no one of them sought to consult the people who actually live here. Not one public meeting, not one leaflet went through anyone's door, not one question to the community. They approved the sale behind closed doors, hoping that everyone would just not notice and expect the residents of Ballybeg to simply put up with it afterwards. However, we did notice, and we have been able to assemble and resist this secretive plan in its early stages. Even after the approval, the story becomes even more bizarre. We are told that the buyer withdrew 2 days later. If that is true, which we don't know because the council haven't confirmed it yet, the public were never told. No notice was issued, no clarification was given. No councillor bothered to update the people they supposedly represent. The land remains in council ownership, but we have no record, no rationale, no explanation. The entire process from start to finish is now a trail of unanswered questions because the whole thing went on in secrecy behind our backs. So let me be clear, this isn't about attacking any faith or community. This is about our local council bypassing residents, breaking with standard practice, ignoring zoning laws and conducting public business in a manner that looks at best careless and at worst coordinated and concealed. The real issue is transparency. The real issue is accountability. The real issue is the rights of the people who live here, who have every right to know about the potential uses of public property in the area being ignored. And we are right to demand these answers. So the question we have here, who identified this buyer and why was there no transparent process? Why was a price set before approval? Why was the land listed in trust when no transfer occurred? Why was a councillor from outside the area used to push this disposal through? Why did every councillor vote for a disposal that contradicted zoning law? Why were we, the residents, given no consultation whatsoever? And why has nobody explained the buyer's sudden withdrawal or the current status of the land? These are not small administrative errors. These are serious governance failures that undermine public confidence in the council and violate the basic principle that public land belongs to the public. Tonight we say clearly, the community's wants will not be bypassed, and the community will not accept secrecy where transparency is required by law. We will be requiring a full public explanation, the release of all documentation revealed to this disposal, and a review of how such a decision could have been made in the first place. And we will continue to organise until those responsible answer to the people they are supposed to serve. Now, these councillors from within this LEA knew full well that the idea of building a mosque was not going to be popular with the people of Ballybeg. It's quite an obvious thing. So why did they get someone from outside? They got someone outside of the LEA, an outsider from Dungarvan, to make the proposal while they themselves signed off on it. They are just as responsible as the man who made the proposal, but they did not make the proposal because they know for a fact that in the next election they are reliant on your votes to get themselves back elected. So that's why they got someone else to do it. They're just as guilty. They signed off on it just like he did. All 32 councillors on the Waterford County Council signed off on this. So remember when you come to voting in your next elections, lads, that not one of these people thought to consult you about this. Not one of them. The entire plan to build a mosque in an area where there is practically no demand for one reveals that there are surely darker intentions down the road. If a mosque is built in Ballybeg, it will without a doubt be used as justification to prioritise housing members of the Muslim community in Ballybeg, since it will be considered an area where their needs are already met. However, this ignores all the needs and wants of the Irish people who have lived here all their lives. Make no mistake, this is a very big, clear, early step towards plunging Ballybeg into multicultural chaos. We are already a minority in the city centre, and the surrounding areas are rapidly reaching the same fate. There are areas in the city centre where the Irish population stands at just 38% and declining. Walk up the road to O'Connell Street and we are only 15% of the population in some areas already, and that number is declining. If we let this happen in Ballybeg, then it's going to happen in Johns Park, then it's going to happen in Kilcohen, Lisduggan, and it's not going to stop at the city boundaries. It's going to continue on to every small town. The entire of Waterford City is going to be a multicultural hellhole in the coming years if we don't put our foot down now. It depends completely on us to stop it. It's no good writing to your local TD or local councillor to ask for help. Every single elected politician on a local or national level right now, elected for Waterford, will deny the very factual claim that we are being replaced as a people in our own country. So what chance have they actually got of actually stepping in and helping us in any way, shape or form? If you want to prevent this fate for your community, you have my full support, you have the National Party's full support. And lads, this is it, right? We have got about 20 years to stop this. We have about 20 years, but the majority of that work has to start now. 20 years to save our country, which has been built over thousands of years. And all of these children, like he says, running around right now, they're going to be exiled to Australia, to Canada, everywhere but Ireland. But those countries are facing the same trouble. There is no future for any person of a white skin colour anywhere in Europe, anywhere along the world, if we don't start putting our foot down now. This is happening not just in Ireland, it's happening throughout Europe, it's happening in Australia, it's happening in America, it's happening in Canada. And we are the only thing that's going to stop it, lads. No one is coming to save you. This is your own community. You have to protect your own community. And if you don't protect your own community, then God forgive you, because your children never will.